Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is your news and week in review, where we're going to go into a variety of things, such as the news, which we actually have a fairly big piece of news this week. We'll be talking about the videos this past week, the games we covered this past week, some of the games I've played that I want to give you some brief intro thoughts on, all of that and more. Although I should say, the most important thing is well, I don't know if it's the most important, but it's important that you don't miss it. I am announcing the winners from the channel support drive giveaway. If you missed it, I run a end of year support drive every single year, where I basically give away a lot of games and say, hey, if you appreciate the videos on this channel, I would think it's awesome if you subscribe to become a Patreon or Ko-Fi member, or YouTube member as well. Any of those things, they are excellent ways to support the channel, support what I'm doing here, and also free games as well to some of you. To that end, I have the 17 winners picked out over here, which I'll be going through. This is a combination of, well, let me think. I'm thinking of the order to do this in. I'll just go ahead and do it. So, this is me going to be announcing the winners. I will say from these, all but two of them will have to email me to make sure you get your prizes. The rest I can email you, or you can email me. Either of those things work. The reason for that is, in order to be eligible, you basically have to either be a Patreon, Ko-Fi, or YouTube member person, giving funds that way, and every dollar you gave basically got you an entry. The other way is, if you are a commenter, you are also eligible. Each commenter got one entry as well. I ran all those things. I kind of pooled all the data together, picked out the various winners, and in total, we have 7 people who are Patreon members. So 7 of the winners are Patreon members. We have 8 people who are Ko-Fi members, and then 2 people won from being commenters in YouTube. That's the breakdown over here. To that end, I'm going to go ahead and announce the general names of people. If you are any of these people, please reach out to me. If you are a member on Ko-Fi or Patreon, I will also reach out to you if you don't get a hold of me. And if you are one of the 2 YouTube people who won, you kind of have to get a hold of me. I'll try to find your comment and reply to it. Where there were hundreds of comments in those videos, I'll see if I can find the comment and reply, but ideally if you can email me at alex@boardgameco.com, that would certainly make my life a lot easier. What I will be doing with all of these people is, once I have all your contact information, I will be kind of structuring a way to try to pair people up with the games they want most. Based on a few people suggested that rather than doing it randomly, this does make sense to me, so I'm going to do my best to pair people up with the games they want most, but that's going to require a bit of finagling. I'll do all of that. Either way, the winners. The winners are Back in Point, Sydney Johnson, Maxim Get, Roro Tono, Daniel Simono, Steve Owen, Jeremy Oliver, Sarah Schwitzer, Douglas Nadine, 3 Gwenth, that's your username apparently, Kay Jasa, Dylan Norlock, Rothana Ray, and then at Imperial, at Charliest John 7912, Stephanie Principe, I have no clue if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and then Jan, who I know Jan directly as well. I'm going to go through this one more time. Back in Point, Maxim Get, Sydney Johnson, Roro Tono, Daniel Simono, Steve Owen, Jeremy Oliver, Sarah Switzer, Douglas Nadine, 3 Gwenth, Kay Jasa, Dylan Norlock, Rothana Ray, at Imperial, at Charliest John 7912, Stephanie Principe, and Jan. Those are going to be the people who won. Fun fact, one person did win twice. One person actually got picked twice, but according to the entry giveaway details, I exclude that, so that person only won once instead, and I picked somebody else after. Anyways, those are the giveaway winners for the various games I was giving away. You can check out those videos. I'll link them down below. If you are any of those people, please reach out to me. Once I'm in contact with all of you, I'll figure out a way to kind of see how I can pair people up with the things they want most as best as possible. With that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the news and week in review. And before we do so, reminder, we are sponsored by Allplay. If you go ahead and check out allplay.com, you can find a variety of things, but right now they currently have their crowdfunding campaign, their Kickstarter, for Enchanted Ivy and Mountain Goat's Legacy. If you are interested in any of those games, first of all, you can check out my reviews and playthroughs on those games. Additionally, you can just check out the campaign itself. I highly recommend Enchanted Ivy. I highly recommend both. I recommend both of them. I love Enchanted Ivy. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into the news and week in review. Starting off with the news, and we actually do have some things over here. We have, starting off, Hachette becomes exclusive UK Ireland distributor for Captain Flip publisher Paypunk, taking over from Asmodee UK. It's a long title. This is over on Board Game Wire. You can read the whole thing. My main takeaway is Zenith has a promo pack coming out. I don't know if it's pictured in the article here. It's not. It's somewhere else. But you can see this little Zenith promo pack, and that is coming out. A little 10 cards for Zenith. I love Zenith, so that excited me more than the rest of this news. And then the big piece of news. We only have 2 pieces of news, but one of them is big. Over at Leader Games, there's a massive shakeup. I'll link to this letter down below from Cole Wehrle. Effectively, it's a lot to go into. Cole Wehrle is leaving Leader Games. Ted Kaya, who was, I believe, their head of game development, also the designer of Take, which was their upcoming trick-taking game. Last week, there was kind of news around the fact that the crowdfunding campaign for Take had been pulled down, and there was news that Ted, the designer, was leaving the company. And there were a lot of comments of like, oh, well, the game without Cole Wehrle's art or whatever, the game without, not Cole Wehrle's art, the game without, what's his name, Kyle Farron's art, isn't going to work for me and all that, and then, or not necessarily isn't going to work for me, but just like that passion around that art. But either way, that was the initial shakeup, but since then, there's been a massive shakeup since then of Ted Kaya left, Cole Wehrle left, a bunch of people are leaving the company. Let's see who else is in the article. I'm trying to remember if Kyle left or no. Yeah, Kyle Farron has left as well. They're forming an entirely new company called Buried Giant Studios, together with his brother Drew, Ted Kaya, and some of their long-standing collaborators. Along the way, Leader Games is selling them Oath and Arcs to take with them. So future content for Oath and Arcs, as well as Take, are going to be some of the things that bring this new studio to life. Root is staying with Leader Games. It does, from this article, it sounds very peaceful and amicable. It sounds like they wanted to bring the company in different directions, and so they decided to just split off and do their own company, and it sounds like everything's very peaceful. It is hard not to wonder what's going on fully, because it's like a massive shakeup. I do hope and wish both companies well. I know most of these people involved in this, to some extent, not like friends with them. I know most of the people, the games behind them, the designers, the illustrators. There's a lot of things to love here. I echo what Sam from Lord of the Board said. I think Sam said this, if I'm not mistaken. But Sam, Lord of the Board, great channel. He had a video on this as well. That I hope this is the creation of two companies that I love, as opposed to a migration of a company that I love, if that makes sense. And I hope that's true. But again, lots of talent in these conversations, and I wish everyone well along the way. But it certainly is a massive shakeup. That's what we have in news. Not a ton to go over, but that Leader Games one is a big one. It's I mean, this Reddit threads, you can speculate. There's a lot of speculation. I'm just reporting on the facts on the ground, and at the very least, whether there's any bad blood or not, they are presenting United Front, and that is amazing regardless of whether there's bad blood. Like, things can get messy when you have things go south, and it doesn't sound like this is going messy, so kudos to everyone involved for that at the very least. With that said, as far as the videos we had this past week, I had my highest reviewed games of 2025. That went up, I want to say, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Just going over my favorite reviews. Also, a whole lot of cat content in that video. Wasn't the plan. Honestly, when the cats show up in videos, they usually are there for like a few minutes, and then they just wander off. Calcifer stuck around for most of the video, and it was a lot of tummy time, as well as my highest reviewed games of 2025, if you want to see that. Just to give you a heads up, not a lot of imagery in that video, like there's no games or b-roll, any of that stuff. I say that because more so than many of my videos, I got a lot of comments asking for that. So I do think it's a quick breakdown, as well as timestamps for you to be able to check what you need. But if you are looking for like visual content, it's not that. Outside of that, we have on Wednesday, I want to say, I put up a video of The Death of the Hobby Has Been Overstated. Or I actually called it, I had different titles. That was my work in progress title, but then I changed it to The Hobby Isn't Dying, or All Their Golden Ages of Board, Is the Hobby Dying, or Is the Golden Age of Board Gaming Over? But either way, I dive into it. The inspiration for this was a Board Game Bollocks video, followed by a Neon Gorilla commentary on that video, which isn't necessarily a ton of things to go into, but I do always think it's an interesting conversation, meaning, to be very clear, the video's goal was not like, oh no, two people have an opinion, I have to have an opinion too. Rather, two people have an opinion that I think is an interesting conversation. And I think it's a very interesting conversation that there's always a degree of these kinds of murmurings, especially the lack of innovation that we see nowadays in the board game space. What does that mean? What does it reflect? Are the golden ages over to a certain extent? One thing I did not talk about that in a video that I wish I had is I forgot to address the fact that we also need to be mindful of our own journey in board games relative to the space itself. It's very easy for someone to be in the space for 6, 7, I'm sorry. It's very easy for someone to be in the space for 7 or 8 years and feel their own excitement wearing off because they've seen it all. The question is, does that mean that the space has lost its innovation? Or does that mean that your position in the space, you've gotten to a point of your own fatigue and you're less excited? I don't know the answer, but I didn't really touch upon that distinction between your journey and the hobby's journey. Those are different conversations. But I do think it's an interesting video. I enjoy these kinds of conversational pieces. I hope you do as well. Check it out if you haven't already. And then lastly, what was it? Lastly, we had on Friday, we had games leaving and being added to the collection. This is a mix-up to my usual format and the channel. Usually I have games added and games leaving in separate videos. I am changing that up going forward in 2026. and until I change my mind, they're going to be combined into a single video because I think that more accurately reflects, especially because of the fact that I'm doing a 200 game limit on my collection, a 1 in, 1 out kind of system. This kind of forces me to, like, on camera kind of tell you, like, hey, this game's being added, and I have to get rid of this game instead. Sometimes they'll be similar, sometimes they'll have overlapping mechanics or places they fit in terms of what I play. Other times they'll just be different because I just made those choices, but I still think that's a far more interesting way to do things. I hope you enjoyed that. I welcome feedback on any time I adjust, anytime I change a formula, a format, or add a format. I love feedback to see what does and doesn't work for you. Like, even when I started doing this set over here, the first week I had a lot of commentary. Yes, it's a little too dark back there. People did not love the holding mic. That kind of feedback is incredibly helpful. I will never be able to make everyone happy. That's the unfortunate reality of feedback, because some people, like even just my talking, some people love how fast I talk. Other people are like, you talk too fast. You can't make everyone happy. You have to pick and choose a lane. But I can't even make those decisions without having your feedback. So whenever you do or don't like something that I've done or changed, I value that feedback. I will not always be able to listen to it, but I genuinely value it. Unless you say things like, dude, your mic sucks, I hate you, bro. I kind of dismiss that feedback because people who communicate like that, their opinion, the way they communicate doesn't have value to me, so I kind of also diminish my value in the opinion that they have as well. When you give feedback in a way that is not, like, you know, toxic, then I genuinely value it, whether or not I can engage with it, whether or not I can adjust to it. That's basically the videos on the channel, which brings us to the games covered this past week. As far as the games covered, we had Movie Night and Book Club in a review on Saturday, this past Saturday. Really enjoyed both of them. They're kind of party games, but a solid 4 out of 5. I enjoy his previous format. I really enjoyed Apropos of Board Game and Apropos of Movies. Those are previously Peter's designs, Peter Hayward's designs, published with Button Shy, and then he expanded to these that he's doing with All Play because he seems to be working a lot more with All Play these days. Also, it allows for more cards. Like, more cards can be added, so that kind of frees up the format. Then there was a preview or a gameplay, I can't remember, I think a preview for Spirited went up this past Saturday as well. Overall, Spirited is a game that I've played. I managed to play it like several times by now, but it's a charming game. It's a little quirky. I would say I like it. I don't necessarily love it, but the combinations of factions are definitely enjoyable to tinker around and play with. It's one of those games where I find the early game to be very slow, and there's definitely a luck aspect to it as far as when you bust and the decisions you make around that, and that can make or break your game. But the overall fun of it is definitely present. So overall enjoy it, not necessarily in love with it. Then there was 20 Strong Cloudspire. Did a solo playthrough of this one. I saw someone asking for a review. Review will come eventually, but I want to play. The problem is I have so many 20 Strong games, I haven't even played all of them yet. I'm trying to play all of them. Then before I review them, I want to get at least a second play with all of them. Like, I don't necessarily feel the need for as many plays because it's a format I know, so there are iterations on it. But I want to get at least 2 plays per game before I do a review. And whether I do a dedicated review or a round of review of like all my 20 Strong so far, like I might do that. My fear is that by the time I do that, more 20 Strongs will come out. So I need to think about how I do it. Overall, I enjoy all the 20 Strong so far. Haven't decided to get rid of any of them yet. It helps that I have that box to hold them all in though, so until they expand past that box, I see no reason to get rid of any of them, assuming I like the ones that I play. Then there was Mountain Ghost Legacy, a review. Myself and Meg reviewed Mountain Ghost Legacy. Anything I review from All Play, this goes for Movie Night and Book Club as well. Please take into account they are a channel sponsor. Hopefully you can learn to trust that my opinion will be consistent across the board. But I also respect if you don't want to just ignore that content because bias. There's definitely bias. I just do my best to counter that bias. But Mountain Ghost Legacy, I shouldn't say counter. Be mindful of that bias and do my best to ensure it doesn't affect the scores and opinions and all that. But I really enjoy Mountain Ghost Legacy. I think it's a lot of fun. It is still Mountain Ghost. It's still a lighter dice rolling game, but I think it adds a lot to the experience. My biggest critique of it was that I play a lot of Mountain Ghost with my kids, and Mountain Ghost Legacy definitely slowed down how fast that goes because you're constantly adding new rules. I enjoy Mountain Ghost Legacy primarily with my kids, but I've played I enjoy Mountain Ghost primarily with my kids, but Mountain Ghost Legacy I've played with both, regular gamers and my kids, and I enjoyed it more with regular gamers, but I do enjoy it. Then there was a review for gameplay for Enchanted Ivy, as well as a review later in the week. I love Enchanted Ivy. It feels very much like someone took Ugly Griffin in and made it significantly better. The puzzle of trying to make it all work feels like Calico to me, as far as I have to play each scenario multiple times to kind of get a sense or feel for what I'm doing, and then iterate to perfection. I am loving it, played it a lot so far, really enjoying it. It's going to be one of my new favorite solo games. I think I already did a top solo games recently, so I might say, listen, it's good. It's better this way. Give the game some time to settle before I talk it up more. But either way, Enchanted Ivy, thoroughly enjoy that one. Then there was a gameplay of Scarab Sands. Scarab Sands I enjoyed more than I thought I would. It's fast-paced, it's actionable. We did make a mistake in the gameplay, although the question I always have is, like, I played it several times, but with the wrong rules. The rules are basically, the adjustment is, technically you're supposed to do the various types of scarabs batch by batch, whereas opposed to we did them all at once. That said, I have not played it yet with the corrected rules, and I don't know if I would enjoy it less. Like, it's more tactical, but I kind of enjoy the fast-paced chaos of it all. I enjoy the mind games of where are you going to go, what are you going to do. So it's a question of, do you want more strategy, more chaos? I enjoyed it the way it was, but it's very fast, lots of quick decisions, lots of quick resolutions. It is a fast-paced game of trying to improve your armies, burst your various pots, I can't remember what they're called, canopic jars, and do so as fast as possible. I really enjoyed that one. I don't think the campaign, like when I checked last, the campaign was not doing well, unfortunately. I think it's a good game. I think it's a good game. Anyways, from there we did a review for Invincible Aftermath. I say we, it was me. Was it me? It was just me. A review for Invincible Aftermath. It's basically Astronauts with the Invincible IP on top of it. I liked Astronauts. I like the Invincible IP. The two work well together. I don't know if I enjoyed it more or less than Astronauts. I liked it. It was good. I gave it a 4 out of 5, but it's just more Astronauts. There wasn't anything that made it drastically better. I did enjoy the mechanic about rescuing civilians and having that slowly power up your deck, both thematically and mechanically. I thought that was very nice. Outside of that, it's more Astronauts. Those are the games we covered this past week, which brings us to today. Today? No, the games I played. The games I played, that's the next category. Some of the games I played this past week. As usual, this is just a sampling of some of the games I played. To that end, I played Popcorn from Yellow. I think from Yellow. I thought it was more fun than I expected. I do not think it's a keeper. That said, most games are not going to be keepers. It takes a lot for a game to be a keeper, but I want to play it again, I'll say that. Like, I really enjoyed Popcorn. It was a fun little, like, trying to, like, get the movies, build your seats out, very fast, a little bit of a, randomness as far as the meeple drafting of it, but overall, the goals, the constant goals you're getting, the expansion of how many meeples you pull from the bag, I was more impressed with it. I thought it was going to be a write-off, and I overall enjoyed it. I also played Middle Ages. Did I talk about this last week? I may have talked about it last week. I don't remember. But I played Middle Ages actually a few times by now. Expect a review at some point soon. Overall, I think Middle Ages is very charming. I think it has limited appeal to me just because there's so many games out there. Does it break into anything new that I love? No, not really. But it's one of those games that I played a few times in person, and I think I've already migrated to it being a board game arena game for me. Meaning Board Game Arena has a lot of games, and while my first few plays were in person, I've played it, I think actually only played it once on BGA so far. But I liked it. I like it on BGA. It's a fun game. It's pretty straightforward. Overall, very much enjoyed Middle Ages, with the caveat that it's a good game, not a game that's going to necessarily wow me. And then lastly, there's the Game Makers. The Game Makers, this is a spoiler to some, in fact, this too as well over here. Spoiler to upcoming videos. I am doing my 35 games that I want to play in 2026 challenge, and so some of these I've already gotten started on to try to learn and play them as fast as possible, so I don't hit the end of the year having not played most of them. But that said, the Game Makers is one that is on my list, and so I dove into it. This one was on BGA, and I played my first game. I was intrigued. I think I didn't understand half of what I did. I want to play it again more because I liked the things that I did do, but I didn't understand half of what was going on. So I need to properly read the rulebook again. Well, I did the BGA tutorial, but I find sometimes the rulebook really helps me center it. So I want to read the rulebook and get a better feel for it. But my first game, again, I don't know if it'll be a keeper. That's a different category. But I enjoyed my first game and want to play it again. Those are some of the games I played this past week, which brings us to today. Today we're going to have 2 videos going up. We have a threefold review of Seashells, Sea Scrolls, and French Toast from Peter Hayward and Allplay. Those are all going up in a in a combined review video. And then later there'll be a review for Dead Cells, the board game as well. That'll be going up later today as well. And that brings us to next week. Next week we'll have a few things. We're going to have a video probably going up tomorrow, I think. Probably, we'll see. But how much do I make? It's a breakdown of how much I make, how the channel works financially, but it's also paired up. I'll be doing a video on the Dice Tower and them as a channel, and then I paired it up with myself and monetization in the space, so 2 different videos going up tomorrow, probably tomorrow, we'll see. Hope you enjoy both of them. And then there's also going to be, hopefully, if I can make it happen this week, I'll be doing that live voting situation, so probably this Wednesday? Do I do it Wednesday? I might do it Wednesday. I might do on Wednesday a live video, 10 a.m. in the morning. Probably. I'm leaning towards yes. I'm leaning towards Wednesday, 10 a.m. doing a live video of, we'll see if it happens exactly then, but just to set your plans accordingly. That may not happen. I hope to be doing my best 32 two-player, best 32? Was it 32? 32, 16, 8, 4, yeah, 32. Best 32 two-player games video. Basically, it's going to be a live bracket voting where you can vote along with me and decide, well, not really along with me. Maybe I'll vote, we'll see. Well, you can go ahead and vote, and we'll see how things pair out. But I want to have you select the best 32 games from my collection, best 32 two-player games. Well, I'll be submitting the best 32 two-player games that I have in my collection, and you'll be voting the order or the brackets in which one is the winner according to you all. That should hopefully be Wednesday at 10 a.m. There's a caveat, there's an asterisk. I'll also be traveling Tuesday night, and if the weather's bad, I will be traveling Wednesday morning instead. So there is a chance that gets pushed off. We shall see. Anyways, that is basically it, which brings us to the games on the shelf. The games on the shelf, as someone pointed out, aren't they all the games on the shelf? They are this shelf, the games on this shelf over here. These are some of the games I hope to be playing this week. We have Praga Kaput Regani. This is one of the games that's on my list of games to get to this year, so I hope to be playing it. We shall see. We shall see if it happens. We have Splendor Kids. I had this since PAX Unplugged, I want to say, and I haven't played it yet, and it seems a simple one to play, so I'm gonna try to get that done. We have Spokes over here. This one just arrived from Radical 8 Games, like literally just arrived. I unboxed it a minute ago. And it looks straightforward and fun and simple and engaging. I was intrigued by the crowdfunding campaign. I'm happy to have a copy. Hope to be playing it shortly. And lastly, we have Pawnscape, designed by Thomas Hollick, which I did not realize. I did not realize it was Thomas Hollick, but I saw the name of the box. I was like, great. This is from Capstone Games. I saw it at PAX Unplugged. I didn't get it then, but I've been intrigued by it. So this is a review copy. And when they asked who wants review copies, I was like, definitely me. And now I'm more excited because Thomas Hollick is the designer of it. Designer of SETI, if you're not aware. Anyways, those are the games I hope to be playing this week, which means we'll see how that goes. This video is over, I guess. We've done all the things. So until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you have an excellent week. And as always, I hope you have a good one.